Hi everybody, this is BDevine from BDevine Online. I hope you're awesome. We're going to do a daily tarot reading. I'm doing 10-minute ones now. So let's get it done. I'm going to start with, these are Kipper fortune telling cards, and I want to get some kind of theme going on here with these. If you'd like your own personal reading, you need to use my website. And also, if you would like to study at my academy, I have ways in which you can get started for $30. So I have decided that the work needs to get out to as many people as possible. And yeah, you can get started right now for $30. Anyway, more about that in the links. Let's go. Here we are. We have the child. We have the adjudication. We have poverty. All right, so let me do a few more here. Okay. There is a sensation here that there is something official taking place, and it is a new energy for you. Where you've been through your work here, you've been in a sense of, it's not happening, it's not working, it's not what you really want. Perhaps you've been looking for a change, which is here as well. And some of you have literally had losses. You've been at these funerals, you've had this situation where you've had to let go of certain things, people, and the grief has been unbearable. However, it also brings about the transformation that you need in your life in order to be in the place that you really want to be in. We all have this blueprint of life. Before we even come, we figure out what we want to do and how we're going to do it for the most part. And there are certain challenges that we give ourselves, and we are always in agreement with those that we lose. We are in agreement of who goes first and what's going to happen because of that. Sometimes you can't transform unless there has been something major that occurred to you. And part of shamanic healing, for example, is having a near-death experience or suffering to the extremes. And this wakes up inside of you this urgency to want to help others and to bring healing. And literally, this happened to me multiple times as a little girl, and things that were occurring to me that shouldn't occur ever to anybody. And I was always thinking to myself, there is somebody else that's worse than me. I'm just going to keep going. There's somebody else who's worse than me. And it made me strong, but it also taught me how to ignore myself. So many of you go through this yourself too. And when you ignore yourself for too long, it doesn't matter whether you're a male or female. When you ignore yourself for too long, you end up creating pockets of energy in your being that are damaged, and they start to get worse and worse and worse. And this is when you find these chronic illnesses, mental health issues, physical issues, fibro, people having deep headaches or panic attacks, or just whatever it is that can continue to go wrong, and it sort of spirals out of control. So in order for you to have a transformation, you can't keep those feelings of being less than and expect yourself to move into this great light, this great change, this great lifting. Again, this is another reason why I started the academy, to teach and lay out everything that I know over the last 30 years, the channeled information and all of the methods of healing. And it meant that I had to face these things as well within myself and understand why things get to me. This is what's going on with all of us. We're being very, very challenged at the moment. Many of us are going through deep losses, deep transformations with work, changing your whole life around. Some people have actually literally lost their children. There's been court cases. There's been, alienation by the other parent. I went to family court for 13 years fighting for my child. I know what it's like. I never gave up though, but I know exactly what it's like. So all of the experiences that you've had can either shape you into the most beautiful diamond, or you can shrink back and hide and feel sorry for yourself, which is basically what happens to a lot of us. We go through these emotions of deep sadness of why something's occurring rather than understanding it's part of our contract and lifting away from it. When you understand that you are loved by the divine, like Mother, Father, God, whatever you want to call it, Source, Great Spirit, Creator, when you understand that you are loved unconditionally, you don't need earthly love. It's interesting. We have the Seven of Wands. Okay. The Justice. See how this is this legality. So again, for some people it's literally legal issues, and for others it's talking about karma or divine justice, right? Something finally being taken care of. Okay, something that was causing you a great deal of pain. It's understandable how grief can also play a huge role in people's lives with what's going on with them emotionally, anger and rage and all of these things that you wouldn't normally have can come up a lot with grief. Sometimes when you are triggered by grief and you don't realize it, you can just have a massive outburst and you don't know where it's coming from. So you've really got to be gentle with yourself here as we move along. We have the Knight of Pentacles. Oh, look at that. We have the Ace of Swords. So yeah, speaking your truth here. Being in the alignment of what you want versus what you don't. I'm often telling people that we can have this life that we want, but if there's any shadow of a doubt within you that it can't happen, you got to get rid of that or it won't. And it's really that simple. Manifestation is belief systems. Working with spiritual energy is belief systems, right? If people believe in God, it exists for them because they completely believe in it. Now, all the judgment and everything else, that can come from religion, that is not part of what God's unconditional love is, right? It's what people have decided to do to control others. So even in spiritual workings, in spiritual realms, and people who are doing this work, they try to control you into submitting to fear in many ways. Now, that's not freedom. If I wanted to be in fear, I'd go right back to church. So, it's an interesting energy today. You may be feeling a little odd anyway, right? And what you're just needing to do here is work out what things are in alignment with you and are going to manifest into things that you want, and what things are drawing you away from your goals. Sadness needs to be felt and dealt. It's like it needs to be dealt with. It needs to be felt. You need to not stop yourself from expressing. But when it gets to be a point where that's all that's happening, then there needs to be a deeper issue that is resolved here. Now, people who need healing, who are healers, let's face it, all of you are, it's time to take the next levels, okay? Take the free courses and then decide if you want to really expand your knowledge and move to those next levels. Know that support is always with you and abundance is here.